Did you hear that Coach O is back with the Tigers? Just want to hear him say, "Go Tigers," one more time. Let's get right into the video. I got one for you.
We got Mike D, LSU insider, Mike Detillier, WWL Radio. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Mike, you and Coach O grew up together. You're close. When did you know that Coach O was going to join Lane Kiffin's staff?
Well, I'll start from the beginning. The first time he ever even talked to me about coaching again was almost a year ago at this time. I had knee replacement, and he got put into the Bayou Sports Hall of Fame. And the first time he mentions it to me is that he wanted to come back and coach again. And I was like, okay. I said, you're looking for a head coaching job? He was like, no, it doesn't have to be a head coaching job. He said it could be a defensive line, coach and that sort of thing. And so it's the first he mentioned ever since he had left LSU about him wanting to come back and coach. And I guess this was late in the season last year. I have to do LSU pregame, and this was final LSU Oklahoma regular season game. And we spoke because it's not 5 minutes from my house from here to Baton Rouge, and we started talking about it, and I could tell that he wanted to come back. He wanted to be at LSU. I knew there would be some hoops that he would have to jump through. Because, when you leave like that, even though he had some success and, pieced together that 2019 team, which is arguably the greatest college team ever, but, it didn't end well at all. I wondered, if maybe some of the powers to be would want him back, because I knew how close he was to Coach Kiffin. And this was a little over a week ago. I asked him to come on with me, Sports Talk. And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. And sure enough, I see that he is working with Richard Anderson, the freshman defensive tackle at LSU at one of the workout places in Baton Rouge. It's the first indication to me that, I wonder if we're getting closer here. And then he tells me I'm on vacation in Mexico. So that sort of derailed things. And then I started to hear some of the hoofbeats that they were getting closer to a deal. Actually, the day before, it was actually announced by LSU. So I'm glad for him. College football's better with him in it. He is a unique personality, and that, to be in a room with him, he's like a rock star, to be honest with you. Sean McVay.
Look, that was Mike Detillier, good friend of Coach Ed Orgeron. He letting it out flat out, saying Coach O, he was interested in a assistant position, and he's out here working with freshman linemen, and then randomly taking a break, vacation to Mexico. You know how much kahunas and balls you have to have as an American these days to go and take a break and go to Mexico? I mean, hey, shouts out to Coach O. I want to take a deep dive, and let's unravel, because he mentioned some things there. He mentioned, he had a good season. That's all people talk was like he just had one good season. Go look at the records. He did not just have one good season. But they're like, oh, he had one good season, which happened to be the arguably best season ever, and then it ended bad. First, I want to talk about the seasons he really had. Then we could talk about why it ended bad. And then third, we'll discuss why Coach O is absolutely the best guy that hire that Lane Kiffin could have made. Obviously, he's the guy who brought these players in, but here we go. So he takes over as intern from Les, right? I don't know, they win 5 or 6 games that year. The very next year, they win like 9 games. Okay, follow me. The next year after that, they go like 10-2 or 10-3. And then the year after that, they go 10-2. This is all under Coach O. Then they go undefeated. So people forget, Burrow didn't have all the tools together. First, let's give Coach O credit. He went and got Burrow. Okay? He convinced Burrow to come. When Burrow came to LSU, he was okay. He was good, but not Joe Burrow. Then he realized he needed a West Coast offense, and then we got Joe Brady from the Saints. Offensive guru, quarterback, offensive coordinator kind of coach. They brought in Jamar Chase. Well, they had Jamar Chase. They start working the boys out in the summer and the spring. Then they made the 2019 season. This was all Orgeron's doing. People give all the credit to Burrow and Chase and say just athletes. Dude, you bring in Kelly. He never brings in he'll never bring in Burrow, right? He'll bring in some guy from Notre Dame, a transfer. And then he doesn't have the insight to realize, okay, Burrow did good, but we need something better, to go and grab a Joe Brady from the Saints. Coach O could do that because he has roots down there. He lives south of New Orleans, down there, Golden Meadow near Fouchon on the Bayou. So he's got roots down there, right? So he pieced the 2019 season wasn't just something that just happened because the talent was laying around. It was methodically put together over a couple years. Was what people need to understand, that he did. He is responsible for that. And he had good seasons before that. I hate all this glossing over that. Now, I hope I made my point clear. The man's a hell of a recruiter, and he's a hell of an allocator. Something, I guess Kelly had have his hands on everything. Coach O was good at finding the people who were good at their jobs and let them do what they do. Now let's talk about him. Let's talk about his season before we get to why he was fired. Now, after the season after the championship, it's like an Alabama situation. All the players leave, all your coaches leave. Everybody now stock has risen. So now everybody wants to go pro or go somewhere other than LSU because they weren't paying players at this time. And he was stuck with what was left. Now, here's a guy, he coaches defense. He's not an offensive coach. And he's left with what he's left to try to figure things out on his own. With LSU giving him, well, you could say they weren't inclined to give him any resources. They figured $16 million was a lot, right? So what ends up happening is the next 2 years they struggle and they nosedive. Well, they get rid of him. And they do it in the most liberal, democratic, scandal, political way ever. Oh, did you hear there was a girl at the gas station saw Coach O? And she asked, hey, Coach, where you going? He said, I'm going to the gym. You want to come? Oh, did you hear Coach O just got a separation from his wife and his new girlfriend he brought to the game, and their kids at the practice, and their kids were at the practice? Like, I'm thinking, like, that's a hell of a boyfriend. Like, if my mom's boyfriend was a coach of LSU, was like, hey, bring your kids to watch the football practice. What? Are you kidding me? Those two situations, there's nothing else that I gather about what he did that was so horrific besides the failing seasons, which, is a fireable offense. But this is what they had to layer on. And I would be cool with you firing him just for those 2 failing offenses. I didn't like how they railroaded Coach O. He didn't deserve it. After all he give you, you just made up some bullshit to send him out the door. So that's one. Then the thing that really, 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 really just pissed me off about LSU and how many liberals they got at the high ups. It looks like they're all going now because we got a new governor, Republican governor, and it looks like the alignment has shifted. But those old cats, they fired Coach O, and they offer Brian Kelly a $100 million deal. Do you know what Coach O could have did with $100 million if you would have just gave him 2 or 3 years? See, they didn't have the foresight. Lane Kiffin does. That's why he brought him back. But now, look, things are different. Things have changed. We're in an era of NIL deals and players are getting paid. And LSU is the place to be. You know, they're going to be in top 5 to pay players, top 5 to pay coaches. And they already have nostalgic and a historic value to their brand in baseball and football, you know. And if you talk about hip-hop scene, these young guys, they love hip-hop. For those of you old white men who, you know, it's been, you know, you only know about 2000s rap and hip-hop and Tupac and Biggie, Baton Rouge for probably the past 5 years now has probably been the mecca of hip-hop. Yeah, Baton Rouge is the mecca of hip-hop, and it's currently the hottest city of hip-hop. If you don't know, just do your research. All right? So that plays a huge factor in these young kids wanting to come. And you're going to pay them. And you're going to give them with an offensive mind like Kiffin. And people who are talking about, oh, they killed me with this one. Oh, well, we'll see if it works out. What the fuck? Coach O ain't got it. He's not calling plays. Why wouldn't it work out? I mean, all he's got to do is go recruit some beasts of boys like he's doing that defensive line freshman or that defensive lineman guy, high school guy. Go down on the Bayou, recruit some boys, and send them up the pipeline. That's all he's got to do. And he can give some insight on the defensive line, and you know he's going to be in that locker room just giving them fucking hell. Y'all remember that interview he did, famous interview? He's giving a press conference, and the boys are in the back, and they're making a lot of noise in the locker room. I guess they just won. They're happy. He's like, hey, quiet it down. And I guess after a while, they got louder. He's like, excuse me. And you hear him in the back, I said, quiet the fuck down. And everybody shut up. That's the kind of, you know, y'all know I'm the H&I. I'm the one in charge around here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he brings. And Lane Kiffin could be the sweet finesse guy on the offense, and then you got that bulldog guy on defense. Plus, you already have good defensive coaches. But maybe Coach O is going to see something. And that's what he does. He sees things that nobody else sees. So, look, I think this is a great hire. We'll make the playoff. I'm going to call it now. Now, how far we go will depend on how ready to go our Sam, what is his name, Sam Levitt, how ready to go he is. I think he can come in injured and just barely ready to go week 1. With this coaching staff, we'll muster up some wins, and he'll get going as the season goes, and we'll be there. It's just a matter of, is he going to get the offense clicking right away? Because, man, if they get the offense clicking right away, we'll go deep in the playoffs. Well, that's my take. This is 360 LSU football with Johnny Caruso. Go Tigers.